A fill of diesel and a cup of coffee. I'm heading west for episode 8 of What's the Story. I'm going to visit Damien and Fiona Griffin of Lissyegan Stables. Well known in the industry, great people. So I'm going to meet, I think Fiona's working busy as a vet today, so it'll be Damien in the yard. So looking forward to catching up with Damien. Thank you for having us back, Roy. Well, it's my return back. We're here in Lissyegan Stables in County Galway. I'm always talking about people, but maybe you introduce yourself. Who are you and where are we?
Yeah, so we're in Lissyegan Stables in Haskra and Ballinasloe in Galway. My name is Damien Griffin. We run, myself and my wife Fiona, run a predominantly show jumping yard. There's 42 horses in work at any given stage. Yeah. We're producing show jumpers, eventers, American hunters, all kinds of any horse that we think there's a job for. We'll assess them and we'll decide what job is for him and we'll produce them for that job.
Okay, and there's lots of actual work going on besides us talking here.
Kyle, my farrier, he's here every Tuesday. Yeah. He does a great job. He's shooing away there, nice and happy. And
Fiona is not with us today, unfortunately. Fiona's actually a vet, and she's out doing real veterinary work. Someone was slagging me this morning that I'm just a vet driving around, but she's actually doing real veterinary work in practice, isn't she?
Yeah, so Fiona works for Ollie Keane in Clohan. And she works in a factory in Iffy Meath, so she's fairly busy. She thought she'd be back today, but just hasn't happened, unfortunately.
Okay. Damien, look, I've met you a couple of times now. Love your attitude. Again, I'm only learning about this industry. But the last time I was with you, you told me the story of, we're in a very impressive yard, and even since I've been here, you had this new doors.
Yeah, I got new doors.
Did you mention you got new doors?
Cheers, Tommy.
No, but you had to start somewhere. This just didn't come about. So how did this all start? Where did Damien Griffin love of horses and this industry start off at?
So I guess I always loved horses. I wasn't very academic in school at all. Yeah. Couldn't even get the word out there. I just always had a complete graw for horses when I was a child. So my parents built me this yard in 2000 actually, 2000, yeah. So it's 24 years ago.
And what did that start? What was it when you said the yard? I presume it wasn't all these sheds.
No, it was just an open field, and my mum and dad built the Sandrine and Dee's first set of 12 stables. Yeah. And then as I started the business down in my father's farmyard down the road, and as things progressed, they built this yard for me. They got the 40% agricultural grant at the time. Yeah. And then I added piece by piece, and now we have the capability of holding 150 horses for the winter. There's 42 horses in work all year round, and we have 4 farms rented. We've 220 acres rented and a couple of out sheds. So it's after progressing.
And there's people as well. One of the things I've seen is there's people, they're just 2 guards that are here, gone after their lunch. You have a team of people here. It's a business with other people besides yourself and Fiona.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Fiona does all the admin and all the billing and everything for me, but without the staff, we wouldn't be able to do anything, obviously. It's all right having front and me talking here about doing everything, but I can't. We've very good staff here at the moment. There's 4 full-time girls. They're doing a really good job. They're riding 8 to 10 horses a day each. They work very, very hard. We've 2 part-time guys that come in and do a bit in the evenings as well, keeping dung pit emptied and keeping bales of silage in. My uncle James is a retired psychiatric nurse, and he's kind of here full-time as well, in fairness to him. So it's a big, big team effort. It doesn't just happen. My father-in-law drives his truck and brings a lot of horse to shows for us. My mother-in-law minds the kids when we're at shows. So it isn't just me and Fiona. It's a big, big team effort.
Before we talk about the kind of management and the day-to-day and maybe weekly jobs that you do, talk about maybe getting to that stage. Was it smooth sailing to go from 12, from maybe the yard above to 12 to another 12 down here to a walker? It's been hard, hasn't it?
Yeah, it took time and it was effort and patience. And the one thing I would praise myself for is I don't spend too much time thinking about things. If I want to do something, I'll go and do it. So I didn't. I just keep improving and trying to improve the facilities and keep building. I'd rather keep moving forward with the times. And when we sell a horse and of our own or selling owners and get commission, I automatically put it back into the business and try and build things up. So I think we're still young enough and we're doing a good job. And I think there's enough. If you do things honest and do things right, there's always new customers coming. So I think improvement is everything.
And so the customers, when you talk about the customers in this business, what what do you mean by customers? I presume you have different customers. You have people you're breeding for, you have people you're buying, you're working with people even in the industry, sort of training younger people, aren't you? So,
Yeah, so
when you say customers, what does that business look like?
So basically, when we started first, we just took in horses for breaking and done a lot of breaking. And when I was a lot younger, done a lot of breaking, done all the sales, Gorge Bridge, Cavins. But it's a very hard industry to make money out of by just doing that, because the turnover of horses is too fast.
Okay.
So you get them in, you work them, you sell them, then the next horses come in. There's no actual, it's just cash flow.
Okay.
So since I met Fiona 11 years ago, this September now, we really changed it around. She was a big help in changing the business around to try and do it more. She gave me a fairly good kick in the arse.
We'll have to leave that. Yeah. She's not here, but she's going to get it.
So she was very driven from the other side, whereas I was so tied up in the yard side of it and so busy, I didn't see the other opportunities that were there with sales horses and maybe trying to get into a different kind of a market and do more half shares. And now at the moment we're involved in, I've a good lot of American clients, Irish guys, friends of mine, and I've got a couple of people in England and in Europe that I do half shares with now.
Okay.
So we buy 2 and 3 year olds together. I'll produce them for 2 or 3 years, then they'll go to their other halves homes and they'll sell them. So we're doing a lot more of that now.
Okay.
So it's, how do I put it? It's the expense of it is a lot dearer out in America. So for us, it's good to buy in half shares with American clients. We'll produce them here for 2 or 3 years, do the work, hopefully have them to a stage where they're ready for selling, and then they go to America and be sold out there.
Okay, we might talk about that process of kind of managing a horse and day to day. So customers, like any other business, your customer is key. And obviously building up long-term customers, that's been a key part of your success.
Yeah, definitely. Like we have the same clients. We have some clients here for the last 10 and 12 years that bring in horses to us, pay us every, we produce them, we sell them. We have the same customers coming for 10 years, and then there's new customers. It's amazing. There's always new people. So I think honesty is a huge thing, because every horse is different, is completely different. We take them for a month, we give our assessment, and then we make a plan of which road is the best for the horse, whether he's an American hunter, an equitation horse, a show jumper, a hunter, whether he's just a happy packer.
There's a vast array of horses. It's not just all show.
Yeah, there's a huge amount. So you don't want to just get people in and tell them that everything is good and this is what it is. So we go through it, we sit down with the owners, we talk to them, we make a plan, or sit down, talk to them on the phone, and just tell them what we think the road is and what money it may be worth if you spend this much money. And then in some cases, owners would offer us a half share, and then we produce them at our cost, and we go 50-50 when the horse is sold. If we think it's a long-term project, that it's a 2 or 3 year project with potential to be very good.
How quickly do you know when a horse comes into the yard as a 2 or 3 year old? How quickly do you know this horse is potential or not? Well,
the real exceptions you know straight away, the real ones, and then the ones
it's like
that
the first time you saw me walking through.
Oh, I thought this man's amazing. There you go, you see. So yeah, look, at every horse is different. Some horses we could have them here for 4 years before we get them sold, and you're producing them and you're trying to find the right market for them. Other horses can come in and be sold in a month. So everything is different. It's a very open sport, like.
And just before we go into the daily runnings, what's the market like then? Because obviously, when you look at these markets, how dependent are they on sort of economic circumstances at the time? Crashes, booms, busts. Is it like is it very linked to it, or is it at a certain high level that doesn't matter? And again, it's my naivety.
It's hard. It's very hard work. Even when things are very, very good, it can still be very slow to get a horse across the line and get horses sold. The better horses, you might have to produce them in next year. It is tough on owners also, because the bills are big every month. You're traveling to shows 4 times in the month. Every weekend you're traveling to a show. It's all very expensive.
Okay.
And it's a lot of expense for me paying out, and then all that gets added on to the owner's livery bill. So it's not a simple market by any means. It's very hard work. It all sounds great with people talking, but it's tough work, like, and it's like cash flow is king here as well. It's so important just to keep money rotating with the volume of horses. It's very expensive to run with staff and with insurance and everything. So it's not all rosy. Some months can be very, very good, but that month might have to keep you going for 4 months again.
What's the bit that keeps you really interested and really, you know, obviously, look, businesses, we like to make money and that's perfectly fine, but what's that little bit that keeps the energy in, that kind of you've no problem? I was only here a couple of months ago, so I can see the changes in the yard. What's the bit of it that keeps you
getting horses sold? Absolutely love it. And again, as you said, it's not for the money. Of course, it's money. Everyone needs money to survive, but it's not that. It's the kick and the thrill of selling a really good horse onto a professional that you know is going to go further. And yeah, it's unbelievable. The feeling is great. Like I love competing, but I love competing to get the horse sold. Compete, get nice videos, and you know the horse is a good horse. That's the biggest feeling. I get the last number of years, my interests and things have changed a little bit. Yeah. So now I love producing horses to sell to bigger clients, and then the more bigger clients, like 5-star clients you meet, then you become friends with them all and you can keep in contact with them. And if you have another horse you think is a good horse, you just send the videos. Yeah, it's amazing how small the world is when you start dealing with somebody.
Okay, and it's all based on trust, same as most businesses.
Yeah,
huge.
Again,
so let's go for a stroll and let's go through the yard here. Is this guy finished his shoot and all?
I'd say the farrier might be gone for a cup of tea, maybe.
All right, okay. So talk to me then about, okay, we're down here, these nice boards. Talk to me about managing horses in this situation. Talk to me about day to day, maybe, and we'll talk about weeks. So daily routines in a yard like this, what are we looking at?
Yeah, so daily routines, I come in the morning and I go through the board. So there's 44 horses down here at the moment. So I go through the board, I put down who's riding what horses, what the horses have to do each day. We have a wood chip pad out the back. Horses can go out the wood chip pad. We have horses for clipping. We have the dentist coming Thursday, the physio, vet, farrier and show. So everything gets wrote down and everything is down and done. So each person knows what they're doing each day. And then for the feeding regime with the volume of horses coming in and out, we have a board here with the 28 horses, and we have another board in the other barn as well. So we obviously feed Precision Microbes, a good lot of horses on microbes.
It just wasn't positioned by no, I didn't give him a brown envelope to just put it there. You have been using Precision Microbes in a lot of horses.
Yeah, we've been using it for what now? 2 years?
2.5, 3 years. Lisa Van was introducing me to you first.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And you're getting on well. You're very happy.
Fantastic.
With the routine,
yeah, we started off with
like most people, you were skeptical, right?
Yeah, of course.
You're not a big feeder of supplements as a general rule.
Yeah, no. Well, it's hard to when you have a huge volume of horses coming in and out, and it's hard. But definitely, Precision Microbes has been a fantastic job for us for underfed horses. The wrong thing to say, but horses that don't just drive properly. We found a class for that. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Okay, so you have your day set out then, and then like just talked about there's some beautiful animals in here. You talk about the day-to-day management. What's the kind of routine going on here for somebody?
So the routine is we start in the mornings, we feed haylage, we put haylage outside all the doors the evening before.
Okay.
So haylage goes outside all the doors, come in the morning, throw the haylage in, we clean all the stables.
Okay.
The shavings is just behind us there in the shed, so it all gets shoved in with a teleporter with a walk-in floor Arctic. So we use all sawdust.
Okay.
And we top up the stables if they need to be topped up. Go for breakfast. We give hay, clean out, and we give corn at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
And then come back at 10:30 and start riding. And then we have lunch from 1 to 2. They get hay again at 1 to 2, and some horses are on lunchtime feed as well.
Okay.
And then come back from lunch and ride horses again for the rest of the day. So the horses are getting fed 4 times a day. I think for me it's very important. Okay. Not getting packed, but they get haylage in the morning at 8 o'clock, they get corn at 10 o'clock, they get haylage again at 1 o'clock, and they get haylage and corn again at 6, half 6.
Quality of the haylage key?
Yeah, very, very important. And sometimes you might end up getting a bad bale. We make around 1,000 to 1,100 bales a year.
You do all your own haylage?
We do all our own haylage. So I prefer to do all my own, so I know exactly what it is. We have John Kennedy is a big contractor down the road, and Simon Donlan is also another contractor. We share all the bales between them.
Okay.
And Ian Donlan does all the hay turning for me, so I don't spend manual time out there myself, but I do bring home all the bales. I enjoy spending the day away from everybody and being on the tractor,
nice
listening to some podcasts. I enjoy that. But yeah, we make all our own stuff, but good haylage is key. Like
before we started rolling the cameras there, you said don't mention names because you'll forget.
Yeah.
You started mentioning contract. I think you covered them all.
Very good. That way, yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's your kind of daily feeding routine. Tips you've picked up working with horses from a daily routine and health perspective. Anything you've kind of seen, you've learned that you didn't know at the start that you would say as a certainty now, be it, I don't know, the type of haylage, the type of sawdust, anything, any real top tip you'd give to someone younger getting into this game?
I think I just touched touched on it there. I think feeding as often as you can, that they have a bit of supply of haylage on the ground at all times.
They're grazers anyway. They should be
huge, yeah. And I don't. Everyone's different, but I don't agree with the racks, with the hay racks.
Okay.
I found we used hay racks in my father's farm a good few years ago, and it was a good idea. They were in the corner, but they were always pulling hay down. They were pulling hay down.
Yeah.
And I thought if there was any bit of dust at all, it was going into their lungs. I'd rather they're picking off the ground.
And they are grazers down there. That's not like
100%.
Okay.
And like they stay picking away there all day. Some of them walk on a bit of haylage, but look, in the greater scheme of things, what's it going to be throughout a year? A bale or two is wasted. Okay. But I prefer them to be picking away, eating all the time. I think it's better. They're good for their gut. They're not left hungry.
Okay.
And routine also is everything with exercising. Routine, and don't ever have fresh horses. Obviously, horses get days off here and there, but I think routine is key.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to pick a random horse here. And just the last time I was here, but you gave me a very Lisa. You're with Lisa Devan as well. You gave us a very good kind of rundown on. Now you're not going to get in trouble by picking one specific horse, but like a horse, kind of what you look for in a horse from a jumping and a performance point of view. Can you give us a kind of a
so. I suppose there's different.
Do you want to get in with a horse?
Yeah, well, I'll show you I'll show you Hampshire, one of the older horses out this side here. That's a 4-year-old colt by All Star.
Right. Is that the guy I see you on him a bit? Is he one of your competition horses? No.
Yeah, he's one of my competition horses.
So when you're looking at a horse, just give us myself and Mike here now behind the camera. We want to know when Mike's has a spare few bob and he's going to go looking at horses. What do we need to be looking for? Or somebody younger, and there's a lot of people getting into this game and they're looking at horses and there's a lot of advice. So what does Damien Griffin think? Again, opinions. Do you know what to say about opinions?
Now, this wasn't actually planned for Tommy, but this is the horse that's on the Precision Microbes. By Tommy.
It's a bit like the microbes bin in the. So we're looking at a horse. What are you looking for?
I just picked this chap. He's a bit dirty in his neck now, but he'll be okay. Yeah. So this is a 8-year-old called ESI Hampshire. We own half sharing with Innisnag Stud, Andrew Hughes in Kilkenny. Really nice horse. So he buys the Rocco Blue. So basically you're looking for size and you're looking for scope, which he has both of. He's a big horse. 17 hand, 17-1. He has a good long rein on his neck, which when you're riding him is important, that you have that in front of you, that his ears aren't up here waiting to hit you in the two eyes. Okay. So he's that.
So his head's away from your head.
Yes, exactly. And you have a lovely big rein for a canter getting to the fence. Good top line, so you can see him. He's on Precision Microbes because he was a very raw horse. Still a little bit raw here, but his condition-wise has kept up really good. So he used to fall apart a little bit and get a bit empty.
When you were working him?
When you were working him, yeah. So he's on Microbes out from the very start. Okay. And it keeps him just perfect. Now he's fit and he's he's fit, lean, and he's lean. Yeah. But he's a very, very good horse. He is 5 140s done this year, and he's been clearing all 5 and placed in all 5. So very, very good, very competitive horse. So you're looking for a horse with a good attitude, with a good brain.
And have you learned that? Was that instinctive? Did you instinctively, some people are just good around animals, some people learn it. I would have said as a vet, I had to learn to be good around animals, where it was natural to me. Was that a natural thing with you with horses?
I don't know. I think I had a natural horsemanship, or I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. But from experience, you learn the different elements that you need in a horse. So he's a bit quirky and he's a bit funny, but he's a very, very good brain. So like 10 years ago, I might have a horse that was really sharp and a bit ignorant and a bit hard to ride, and you'd say he'll be fine if you get to the bottom of him. But the way the market is nowadays, their brain has to be good, number one. Even if they're a bit difficult, a bit quirky, if they've this and that, they have to have some kind of nature in their brain to be good and to be able to be sold in the future. Like obviously the long-term goal for this horse is to sell him, but hopefully while I have him, I'm having great fun with him. But the need to have a good brain. Brain is absolutely everything.
And the gut and the brain are linked. So have you noticed anything with the microbes and behaviour? Is something we get a nice bit of feedback on?
So when we started with this horse first, when we got onto the microbes with Lisa, he was very, very touchy all the time. Okay. So like when you'd be riding him and you touch him with your leg, he'd nearly scoot out from under you. His tail would go between his legs and he'd go like that. So he was feeling
pain there.
A pain. And he hadn't got ulcers, but he wasn't comfortable in his gut. So when you'd be riding him and you'd be riding around, you'd be thinking, geez, he's really, really sharp. But he's not. When I say sharp, I mean that he wants to shoot out.
He's more reactive than you want.
So very, very touchy, but that's all gone.
Good.
and it took 8 weeks, 9 weeks for that to actually begin to work, which you had told me, don't expect a change in 2 weeks. But he's always on it now. We don't take him off it.
Manage people's expectations, you lose them, Damien, isn't that? Very good. Okay, look, that's a good insight into day-to-day. I suppose, then do you want to turn the rug back on him?
No, I'll leave it off for a few minutes, very warm.
Do you want to just tell us then, I suppose, it's good to know what kind of... Okay, that's the day-to-day runnings, busy, feeding, a lot of work here with a lot of horses.
Yeah.
What does a week look like then? What do competitions look like? We'll head out to maybe talk about breeding, but what does a week look like when you're showing or competing then? What does that entail? Getting horses ready, etc.
Yeah, so it's always busy.
Okay.
It's always busy. One thing leads to the other. It just kind of 1 week rolls into the next. So basically our week to week here would be, I plan shows every Monday around lunchtime or Monday evening. I'd sit down and I'd just kind of go through it in my head.
Right.
And I might change my mind 3 or 4 times or 5 times. That's just how it goes.
Right.
But we'd normally try and do a training show during the week.
Yeah.
With a bunch of young horses. So I can concentrate myself on the older horses at the weekend. Because when you have a Grand Prix show, a couple of years ago, I'd bring 10 or 15 to a show and I'd ride them all. But I'm starting to get old now. And had a lot of breaks.
How's the body holding up?
It's good. But I fractured the top of my tibia last August at a hernia operation the year before, and I just different little things from hard luck accidents.
All add up, yeah.
They all add up, but it's good. I'm riding 10 or 12 horses a day. I'm happy at it. I still love what I'm doing, but the organisation now is a big thing now. There's such a volume of horses, and we want to try and get, if you don't produce them and you don't get the horses out, like for instance, we went to Roscrea last Saturday, jumping at a show, and we were back again on the Wednesday.
Okay.
And then we went to Mullingar on the Saturday with the same team of horses. So they got out for 3 days that week. And the education they got was unbelievable. Whereas you could ride them for 3 months here and you wouldn't get that education into them.
Is it the other horses, the environment, the
yes,
jumping,
exactly.
the getting in and out of the box, all of that?
Exactly, getting in now out of the lurry. And like we had one particular mare here, she's a little bit funny and she didn't want to load. We spent 20 minutes loading her. We got to the show, we jumped her, she walked straight up into the lurry. So it's just education. It's like bringing a child out for the first time. They have to learn, like.
Yeah.
So organisation and planning is key as well. But Fiona does an awful lot of organising at home in the evenings. Like she does an awful lot of planning.
There's a bit of a team. Fiona's not here, but we've got an idea of Fiona's role as the steady hand in the thing. Yeah,
exactly.
Brilliant. Okay, Damien, we moved. We were in the sun. The sunlight had to change.
Yep.
Mike was giving out to us. He forgot to press record. We won't tell anyone about that. All right, listen, Damien, look, we get a great insight into, I suppose, your own story, your background, day-to-day activities. You even gave us your insight into looking at a horse. Talk to me a little bit. We're up on the other side of the yard here. Mike probably got a shot at a drone. The yard's extending. These are new buildings. Breeding-wise, what are you doing now at the moment? What's the current sort of model in relation to breeding and the breeding side of the business?
Yeah, so basically myself and Fiona kind of just started a whole new breeding thing a couple of years ago. We chatted about it. We buy a lot of foals. We try and rear 20 foals every year to have coming through in the production line. So you kind of need 20 foals, yearlings, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, and then you kind of phase through them all. From 2-year-olds onwards, you start jumping them on the lunge, you start handling them, you see what the temperaments are like. And unfortunately, like every other yard, people don't talk about it, but you might find 3 really good ones out of the 20. Okay. That's the reality of it, like. Okay. So that's why you need to have the volume coming through. But as we spoke about it earlier, there's jobs for all the horses. You just need to start phasing them out in time and see what jobs are for what.
Okay.
So the breeding program, I suppose it's a full separate thing again. Fiona does her work, we do our work here, we go home in the evenings and we have the breeding farm. Okay. So that's where we're at now at the moment.
So that's kind of almost like your hobby at night.
Yeah. Beautiful hobby, put the kids in the passageway and scan mares. But yeah, we're at that now, we've 10 or 12 mares. We enjoy it though, it's really interesting, it's a different kind of buzz.
So you're breeding your own horses now as opposed to buying foals in, is that where you're kind of at?
Yeah, so basically the next 5-10 year goal is to have all our own foals. Okay. At the moment we probably buy 70% and we breed 30. Okay. We'd like to be more the other way. Okay. Buy in 30 and breed 70%.
When you look at that, when you're buying in progeny, are you rearing the progeny yourselves, bringing them through? Is there young animals you've kind of said there's a bit of potential there? I might hold on to her and breed her. Is that what you're kind of doing?
Yeah, sure. Look, at the end of the day, a dream, it's all a dream. When you go buy a foal or breed a foal, you have 3 years to be looking at that dream, so you're not as disappointed if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But of course, it's all a dream, and you're excited. Like, we scan a mare. We have a very good Sligo Candy mare that we bought last year.
Yeah.
And she's just scanned a foal to Hermitage Cologne, who's picked Paris to jump in Paris now. He's a stallion out in, I think he's in Belgium or somewhere, but he's an unbelievable.
He's in the Olympics.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Okay. So like, we're already living on that dream now. That there's
this is the little embryo on the screen. Yeah.
On the screen. So it's very exciting. And look, at the end of the day, it's going to be very hard to buy a Hermitage Cologne foal. So the fact that we have one in foal and they're coming through, it's exciting. And it's a whole new other part of the business for us to be getting into as well, just for thinking of the future. Like. And
both of you have that interest, and obviously you've really got it handy, because Fiona can do the scanning and the AI and all the
handy.
all those really important bits of the industry you're typically getting vets in to do maybe. And she's like, obviously when you're scanning, it's a very time oriented thing to get it right. So
yeah, absolutely.
It makes a huge difference that she's involved in that part of the business.
Yeah,
also.
And we kind of changed things up a bit this year. So we built a shed over at our house that we bought. We built a 3-bay back shed for the sheep.
Yeah.
So we had 100 ewes lambing, and we just decided that we probably had enough to be doing.
Right.
So we sold all the sheep last year.
Oh, sheep are gone?
Yeah, we converted the full sheep shed into a mare and foal shed and a scanning box. So we have it made very nice. We converted the 7 acres paddocks into paddocks. So we've got 5 paddocks and then 1 3-acre field down the bottom. Now our system at the moment is we buy in 150 to 200 store lambs, and we let them run through the farm, eat the grass the horses don't eat, and we kill them off at the back end of the year. Instead of having the breeding ewes and they're taking up the shed, now we have the shed converted into mare and foal shed. So it's easier for us in the evenings. We can make a plan. Fiona has a whiteboard in the mare and foal shed. She puts down all the mares that have to come home and what dates they have to be scanned, and for either for covering or for foal scanning or for heartbeat scanning. So we have the pins available there to bring the mare and foal home the day before and have them left there when Fiona has time. Then we can do the scanning.
You have your few sheep as well.
Setup.
You have your few sheep, so you can still go to the pub and pretend like the locals, like you're going to have a chat about 100%. Sheep and the price of sheep. So it reminds me of the story of a publican. He's no longer with us in Wicklow, but he was also farming as well, and he was up in a place in Glenmalure, and geez, he had a few cattle, and I always asked him why he had cattle. He said, sure, if I didn't have a few cattle, I'd have nothing to talk to my customers coming in every day. So you can still claim the bit of sheep farming. Yeah. Okay, so that's the breeding. That's exciting for you that you're looking at that. Again, it's a long-term plan.
Yeah.
So that's kind of long-term, 10 years' time, a lot more of your own progeny coming through, controlling your own stock and breeding. Is that what the plan is?
Yeah, we would like to be. I don't want to get rid of deliveries. I don't mean that. We're very lucky to have all the delivery owners and to have the cash flow coming in, because without cash flow, cash is king to keep the business rolling every month. But without that, we wouldn't be able to survive by just selling a horse here and there. But in the long-term plan, we would probably like to not have so many horses in production and be bringing through more younger horses, because at the end of the day, everything is about contacts and introducing yourself to people and social media and this and that it's very hard to get time for outside work. If you have 40-something in work all the time, it's very time-consuming.
Physically time-consuming.
Yeah, physically time-consuming as well. So I'd love if we've two young... Sorry, we've 2 young kids there, Holly and Connor. In the next 10 years, I'd love if I could be taking up a few of the stables with a few ponies and having a bit of fun with them as well, because I think spending time with family and kids is absolutely a lot more important than whatever business is happening anywhere.
Great point. I think you said Connor has his little pony. What's the little ponies?
Kitty.
Kitty.
Very, very important piece of machinery there.
Yeah. So they're already showing an interest, and no wonder they are. You're out all the time.
Yeah, they're there with us all the time.
Your life and your family it's a lovely way to be.
Yeah.
Are all wrapped up together, and long may that continue, and long may your success continue. One couple of things to finish up with. I know from, again, following you on social media, you often have Teagasc here. You're quite involved in training and the next generation of people coming through. How important is that for you?
I think it's brilliant, because Indy Connell from Teagasc brings a good few groups here, maybe 2-3 times a year, and I've gone on different training days with them and helped them out. She is Tiernan and Gill and Philip Scott and Andrew Hughes goes with them and does the training. And I think it's very good to diversify yourself a bit and go and do different things as well, because you're always meeting new people. There's always someone that is interested in what you're doing, and I think it's great just to go. If you were to stick at home and stay in the yard every day, you'd get bored and you wouldn't meet anybody. I think it's important to go see places and do things and meet different people. So yeah, I'm really interested in trying to help young people coming through as well. And everyone starts everywhere. I didn't get anything. You know, when I started out, my parents were brilliant. They did all they could, but they didn't know anything about horses. I taught myself how to do everything. And I think it's a great way of going. And I'd love to help people coming through. It's brilliant, yeah.
Often when you do that, Damien, it's unfortunately the best teachings are the things that go wrong, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure. And I suppose really, like, if I was handed a place, I would be where I am now. I probably could have been 10 years ago, if you know what I mean. But look, I'm happier that I taught myself how to do things, and I made loads and loads of mistakes. I'm still making mistakes,
but at least
that's how you learn.
Part and parcel.
Yeah, definitely.
Just on the overall industry, particularly on the sports horse and show jumping side of it, it's an exciting time. Paris, when this will go out, but Paris Olympics, Irish show jumping is in a very strong position. Irish breeding of horses in a strong position. What are your thoughts there?
Oh, it's unbelievable at the moment. Like, Ireland are just doing so well in everything. You have Daniel Coyle, Cian O'Connor, and Shane Sweetman, and Dennis Lynch is on the reserve to go to Paris. Like, they're so strong, it's unbelievable. And there was 4 of them in Aachen 2 weeks ago. They won the Nations Cup, and it's the biggest Nations Cup in the world. Like, and it was huge. Some 3 clears in the first round and 3 in the second. And the European Championships is on in Valkenswaard at the moment for the young riders and the juniors. Ireland have 2 or 3 very strong teams out there now. It's phenomenal what's happening at the moment here in Ireland. Like, there's so many talented riders and horses coming through. It's unbelievable to see it. Like, just unreal.
Brilliant. Okay, so look, we really appreciate you having me and Mike here today. He didn't press record, he's in a bit of trouble there, but we're going to get him again. But no, Damien, look, love your attitude, love your work can do attitude. It's huge, it's admirable, and it's something I'd strive to be like as well. So really appreciate that. Pity we didn't meet Fiona, but she got plenty of mentions. She's the foundations in place, by the sounds of things. Continued success to you. I really appreciate it. So thank you very much. And for people who want to keep following the Damien Griffin Lissyegan Stables journey, websites, where can they find you? Yeah, so we've 3 social media platforms. We have a website, www.damiengriffin.com. We have Instagram and Facebook. It's just Damien Griffin Lissyegan Stables. We're on all them social media platforms. Fiona does all the social media for us. So anyone can contact us for anything. I'm open to help anybody with anything. So yeah. Listen, it's been a pleasure to work with you, Precision Microbes. Hopefully we'll be back again and continued success. Cheers. Thank you. You press record? So that's a wrap from episode 8 of What's the Story, and I'm on the way home, back in the car again. Join us for episode 9, where we go out and meet our customers. Great day with Damien Griffin. Great attitude, watching how he's built up that business to what it is today. His passion for what he does, family orientated, real deep knowledge, I suppose, of sport, performance horses, breeding. Not afraid of a bit of risk, and an all-round great guy, great company. Pity we didn't get to meet Fiona, but obviously from what you've heard, she's the backbone of the business there as well. Join us for episode 9. We're nearly 3/4 of the way through the series of What's the Story, where we meet our customers across the country. Until next time, take care. Welcome back to episode 9 of What's the Story. We're here in Shinroe, County Offaly today, at a real treat in store. We're going to meet Michael Going, a dairy farmer. Couple of things with Michael. We're going to talk about calf rearing. He gives a masterclass today, I think, in calf rearing. We're going to talk about his experience with Precision Microbes, but most importantly, really exciting for us as a company, about trial work we're doing on cows. Very first farm.
What does farmers need to be thinking about? Getting things right with what you can control, which generally speaking is inside your own gates. So basics, once again, get them right. Try and be, whatever you're doing, try to be something that you're going to be happy at. It's in any job, let it be a dentist, let it be a doctor, let it be a vet going around the country doing very little.
That was a reference to me, just in case anyone missed it.
I didn't think it was that sort. What you are doing is something that you're happy at. If you can do all them things, you're getting ahead.